Hi, it's Lynn from Linny C Designs. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in West Sussex in the UK, and I'm coming on to create a card that I just recently made in my card class. And I have to admit, I went completely over the top. When I wrote down all of the items that I used, I realised that I'd thrown rather a lot at it, but hey, there we go. I'm into Christmas cards at the moment. I'm sure most of us crafters are wanting to get ahead of the game, and I'm using products from the Stampin' Up mini catalogue and annual catalogue, and I do sell all of the items that I'm demonstrating today, so there'll be links in the description box below if you want to purchase any of them. So anyway, this is my card, and I've used stamps from the Merriest Moments and also some of the dies. These are amazing, and I will go into these in more detail on my next video. But they actually, these go with this stamp set. At the moment you can buy them as a bundle, and they're really beautiful. They work with a hybrid embossing folder. So anyway, I'll as I say, I'll go into that in my next video, and when I do, I'll link to that later on so that you can see it. I've used the Stitched Greenery die, and this is beautiful. That's created a really lovely background as an alternative to using some designer paper to get, or stamps to get a background. So that's really lovely. And then I've used one of my frames from the Scalloped Contour dies, and you've seen me use these in a lot of projects recently. They are a firm favourite. So I'll show you what I'll do. I'll just pop that out of the way. I've got thick basic white for the card base, and you'll see that I have trimmed this down. So this was 14.8 by 21 centimeters, scored at 10.5, and then I have taken off about 2.5 centimeters. It works out to be an inch actually, off that front panel. This was a layer of Pear Pizzazz, measuring 10.2 by 14.5, and I have trimmed that down so that that fits on that panel there with a nice little border, and then that goes on the inside of the card, and the pattern still matches up, but it's just a little bit of a different fold. So I'm just going to, we can stick these down straight away with some multi-purpose glue, and then I won't lose them. I'm hoping that it's not too noisy, but we've got some lovely new neighbours that have moved in, and they are trying to make the property, it's been empty for, oh, come on Lynn, it's been empty for about 5 months, and they're trying to make it livable before they move in. So they're desperately doing a little bit of work to it. Very nice young couple. We miss our old neighbour David, who's moved back to Wales to be near to his family, and we've been neighbours for a long time, so it's a big change for everybody. But he's near his family, which we're really pleased about, because last year was quite difficult, you know, because he was on his own, and we did what we could, but it's hard. So that's the base there, that will adhere to that. And then I've got the label, and I have die cut, so I used about half a sheet of basic white, normal basic white, and I've die cut. This is what I did for my class because it was easy, and I find that I have done templates before. I've used the Stamparatus, and I made a template. So I'll stick those in. I'm going to stick the red bits in first. There we go. And I did this for class because it's easier, and I literally doing this with a template is fantastic when you're doing a lot or doing a lot of repetitive projects. So I've got my Poppy Parade, and when you first do a template, you literally you stamp your images and then you die cut them. And that gives you your template. You can keep that, and it's just really easy if you're going to do a lot of repetition. So, and if you don't get a good image first time, you can go back and, you know, get it again. So that's the red. I'll give that a quick clean off. That's because I like to do it as I go along. And then flip that over, and that's perfect for this. So I thought it would be easier for my class attendees, my friends and customers, to do separate colours on separate sides, and that way people get less messy. That's the theory anyway. With stamping, I think half the fun is getting a little bit messy. So put the ink on those. And I have got I've ordered myself some little spots actually, because I think they might be, do tend to get a bit messy with the Stamparatus. I think stamping spots might be the way to go, but we shall give it a... We're waiting for a delivery, so hopefully UPS will turn up. We've been having a few little issues with UPS and our deliveries, but fingers crossed. So they'll go there, and we'll just give that a quick clean off too. Get some of that colour off anyway. Pop that out of the way. So on this card, I did actually stamp this in crumb cake because I thought that would be easier. So that way people could stay in their seats and not move around too much. Let's get our pieces. But I'm going to heat emboss on this occasion. So I've got my body, and I've got some gold embossing. I'm going to actually put it... No, I'm going to keep it the same. We're going to swap sides then, but I quite like the way I've done it. Spoons here. Give it a little tap. And I'll let that heat up, and then I will, well, you know how I feel about heat embossing. So that's there, and then I'm just going to stamp a little centre to my flower. with the tiniest little, oh, now I've got some Pear Pizzazz, two different, there's a large and a small frond. I'm going to pop that there. Doesn't matter that this is a mess because it's going to be hidden by the flower. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a shape up. A little bit of a shape. I'm going to pop a mini dimensional on there and position that. And then it's all about doing a little bit of arranging, but I wanted to bring in a little bit more gold, so I'm going to do a faux bow. Let's have a look. Just going to do that and that. Snip that. And either you can use either glue dots or a little bit of tear and tape. I'm going to use some tear and tape. Get it to tear. Use your nail. So let's see. Pop that. Pop that there. Take off the other side. That's holding this securely. Put it around if you want to a little bit. That pops on there. And then I'm going to use, hopefully you can't hear the neighbours or my husband on the phone. There we go. That's there. Tuck that in. And then I'm going to use a bit of dimensional on that, just one little one. So that's on that, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of, let's shush those up again. Now that didn't stamp completely brilliantly, so I must have moved the template a little bit. I'm just going to trim a little bit of that excess white off. There we go. And we can put some ink down there, ink, glue. Sometimes, I don't know why, but when I'm on camera, my mouth just does not obey. So I'm arranging those, and then that will get popped up on top. And then I'm going to, just bearing in mind, just add a little bit of glue there, because I don't want to have glue down this edge in case it comes over here. I'm hoping that was all on camera. Seemed to be a little bit high there. So that's down on there quite nicely. And lastly, I'm going to use some of the shimmery crystal effects to add a little bit of dimension. Dog's just realised my husband's gone out, been asleep on the bed, and I love this. I'm just applying it where I want it. It does kind of flatten itself out a little bit, and it takes a while to dry. So, and I'm going to put a blob, big blob, in the middle there. So you just have to set that aside and let that dry. And just because I can, and because there's a bit of dimension, I'm going to put some basic pearls in here. Oh, they are making a bit of a racket next door. There we go. That's that, and that's that. So thank you so much for watching. There will be a link to my blog, and as I said before, there will be links to my online store if you are interested in purchasing any of these items. Thank you so much for watching. What do you prefer, actually? Do you prefer the embossing, or this was stamped in crumb cake? Bye for now.